Hello, Collab Design for Literacy Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week 8 going into week 9 recap briefing video. And it's an important one because we are going into spring break. Many of you are probably there right now as you watch this, or maybe back from an exotic trip. And hopefully, you guys are enjoying your spring break. Uh, don't misbehave too much though, but do a little bit, and getting good time away from school, time hopefully time away from New York City. But if you're staying in New York, just time away from the routine of school. Winter is over. I am declaring it, and spring is here. And when you come back, I want you guys to be recharged, refreshed, ready to go. Winter blues, get them out of your brain and get set towards positioning yourself to surge to the end of the semester as we're in the middle of our storybook project. And I want everyone to make sure through this video that you're aligned with what's next and that you are not letting spring break interrupt things too much. So let's just dive into this. So here's the schedule. We just finished part two, and we're going into spring break, and then part three is going to be coming up, and that will be at my office. So right now it's spring break, and what I want everyone to remember, like I said in class, don't get broken by spring break. Do not get broken by spring break. What does that mean? That means go out there, let it all hang, enjoy yourself, forget your routine, forget your worries, get yourself some good, well-deserved rest and enjoyment, and bask with your family and friends. But don't overdo it. In other words, don't forget that you still got to keep, it's kind of like you're cooking. You still got to mind the stove. You still got to stir the pot. You can't just abandon what you're doing because it's going to overflow or burn. And I want you guys to kind of keep enjoy, but keep working, keep doing stuff. Find time where you're going to do work a little bit while you're still enjoying yourself. Maybe it's a few of the days of spring break, one of the days, whatever it is. Just you got to keep going. We got to make sure you get good output, so that in the next class you're ready to go. So don't get broken by spring break. That's our PSA announcement, a public service announcement for today. Okay, so when you come back, it's going to be important to know that you we'll be doing our design final reviews. I'm going to skip ahead at TODA, and what that means, that's my office. My office is in Dumbo, Brooklyn, and I've got a little office. You're going to come all see it, and I got an office next to a conference room, which is here's the conference room, here's the office. And what we're going to do is you're going to do two things. You're going to come, you're not going to go to class. Next class is going to be held at TODA in Dumbo at my office. You're going to come and you're going to get your picture taken. You're going to get your picture taken with unfortunately not with your printed dirt book because the printer's moving, but you're going to have a blank book like this that you're going to pose with, like much like you see in the picture of the girl below me. And you're going to take different pictures of you with your book, and then later on you're going to Photoshop this in here. Same thing with the storybook. Here's the storybook dummy, and you're going to have this, and you're going to pose with that as well. And we're also going to get portraits so that you have a portrait for where your the dirt page that has your bio. It's going to have your portrait as well. And we're going to also take pictures with you with a dirt bag, just some fun pictures. Here's the outlet. Here's the output. Um, blank books, dirt bags, and portraits. Now, notice, and I urge you guys, like, do not come to the photo shoot wearing like what I'm wearing. Like, don't bring your new school shirt, because we don't want to have your shirt kind of get in the way of the picture. Like, try to keep things nice and simple and plain. Still come in your coolest clothes, but neutral colors, not too many details. Like look good, get a haircut, or get your nails done or whatever. But don't overdo it. Don't get like a big perm. Like Alex, don't get a perm. Okay. Same with you, Mark. Like don't dye your hair purple. And Jake, don't wear your purple suit like we talked about in class. Save that for Parsons prom if there's such a thing. Don't wear a tuxedo. Don't rent a tuxedo. Like just wear cool clothes, um, and come to my office for both this photo shoot as well as we're going to have design reviews. So the design reviews will be taking place one at a time. So Demi will be here and maybe Ahano. So maybe there'll be two at a time if I can get Ahano to come too. And this way you're going to get feedback for your progress and be able to also get without it being the whole classroom the whole time. You'll be required to sit in and a couple of other students like you're seeing here in the picture. So and bring your full and best thank you pages as shown down here with the monkey thank you page in the corner. Make sure that that's going to shine. And that'll be what we'll be doing next class. So next class will be my office. I'll email everybody with my address, and I also have to email you a QR code to get through the front gate in the lobby, the gates in the lobby. Okay, so back to the schedule here. That's going to be the design finalization reviews. That'll be the last review before we do our final review, or your design completion will be due the next week after that. So it'll be 2 more weeks after spring break to get your thing done. Okay. So what you'll be doing now after the reviews, and I met with a few of you that weren't there online already. There's maybe one or two people who I haven't. So if you have not talked to me, please reach out and make sure you're getting feedback before the spring break rolls away. So consider the feedback you've got from the last part two assignment you guys did, and you guys did great. Lots of good progress. Some of you were maybe not as far ahead as you wanted to be, but this is the hard part. This is the part you're working things out. You got to get your edit, you complete your text. If you haven't yet, like make sure that becomes a priority. If your storyboard needs updating, update your storyboard. Remember the title page, the title spread. Don't forget the title spread. Continue to create your illustrations and layouts. So you're just basically going to work to make more cover layout completions. Like you're going to start rolling through and get the book done. Update your presentation, and hopefully you're going to be like halfway done at the good rule, maybe a little less if you want. But here's what you did last time, and then this time you're going to go from having like a few ideas to even more finished ideas, and some still in progress. Like you see the back is still in progress and the cover is not quite finished. But basically you want to start getting a good chunk of the book done. Like if you're building the house, okay, it's starting to look like a house now, and the walls are up, and it's not fully done yet. It's not furnished yet, but you want to start having some rooms furnished and fully done, and others not. Okay, let's remind you of some of the fixed elements. What I mean by that is there's the logo on the front cover that's going to be there right where it is in the template. Do not move it. It's going to be white with black. Don't change the color. Don't take the white box out. That's the same on every single dirt book. It's in that corner. On the back is a UPC code. For Blurb, it's in the center, but for Amazon, it's on the left. So kind of keep that in mind, center and left. UPC code is going to be there. So just don't overdo the bottom. Have it be interruptible. It could be very busy with stuff, but just have it be okay that it gets covered by a logo. This is the inside cover on the left and page one on the right. And page one on the right is going to be fixed. Don't do anything to it. Leave it alone. I mean, you can type your name in here if you want. I'll do it, or you can type your name in there if you want. Page 2 and 3 is also fixed, where you are going to be putting in your portrait here once you get that. Not this week, not next week, but after the photo shoot. And we are going to be putting in your bio and a little bit about your book. And it could be rough if you don't, and just I can finish it, but put basic information in there. That's, again, that can be later. Here's the zoom in on that. Basically, it's going to just, if you update this, you'll change. I want to know where you're from, like the city and country or state, and don't say New York City. I mean, you can say New York City if that is really where you're from, but I would prefer like your homeland so that we get more diversity of places. And then talk about the concept of your book or your approach or what the story has to teach. Like we can work on that later, but that's what's going to go there. And the very back is the more books by Dirt, so don't mess with the last page. And then remember the bleed. The bleed is the area where if you have graphic or color illustration elements type going full page, then it has to be your page layout has to be a little bit bigger. That means here when you see this page, which has a full bleed illustration, right? Like the ground, the track, the trees, the sky, they all go off the page. So in order to do that, in order to be able to trim the book so that you don't get white, you have to have extra. So here's you see the extra going all the way around beyond this black line. So you have to have a little extra. And the bleed is set already in the InDesign file. So just make sure it goes all the way to the edge. You guys have done, I'm not done yet with all the baby board books. You've done good on that. Here's the template. The link is in the canvas if you haven't downloaded it yet. And it's set as a 24-page book. Again, if you need more pages, add more pages, but try to keep it within fours. If you want to add four more pages instead of just two. Okay, so that's and on the title spread, like don't forget the title spread, and that's the first that's page 4 and 5. But I say down here title spread as a reminder. It's written down here really small, but take that out when you design a title spread. Don't leave that there because that's just there to remind you, like in case you forget. Okay, so we have everything on Canvas. Links are there. There's a Google Drive folder that is there as well, a link to the Canvas assignment, and it's also here. And there's also a link to class resources folder, which has a folder called Children's Storybook Archive. And in that folder are a bunch of PDFs from past books that you can just open and kind of, they're not movies or anything like that. They're just the PDFs of the books. But it's a good place to go look and see how people did things or just browse through um, other books in a way that you can kind of get inspired by. Downright copy if you want, not literally, but like an approach or something. And then I didn't quite do this right in class because I didn't log into my account, so I couldn't open the full book, but I want to do it now. So if I can get to it. So let's look at this case study of this book here, which is The Magic Lamp, which is a book that was done by a student for this assignment. And basically, this book is an adaptation of Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. And this student wanted to modernize that story and to kind of take away some of take it out of the setting of being from the Middle East. I forgot what country it's from, but have it be something that's relatable, not specifically to any culture, but kind of a Western civilization, modern times version of this. And so she changed the name to the Magic Lamp, and but alluded very strongly to the idea that it's this Aladdin lamp kind of thing, and built on that equity. And then she was also the illustrator and author of Red, of Little Red Riding Hood, that we saw earlier in the class, and uses this kind of, I mean, this is less minimal, but still has this like vector, simple, minimal style that's unique to her. That in this case utilizes the background much more than the Red book does. And here you see this kind of blue, magical, crystal-y background, even though they're just ovals. That's what it actually is. So, oops, I went the wrong way here. Okay, so again, the cover, the logo's down there. Here's the inside cover, nothing there. At first, page one is the dirt scribble, and here's the pages 2 and 3, which you don't put your design on. Here is the title spread that I want you guys to do, and make sure you're making it as this kind of like the opener, like the thumbnail for a video kind of thing, where it has the title, it has your name and your credit, whether it's adapted or written and illustrated or designed, um, or if you want to say from the story and then list the story that you got it from, you can list that. Look at the PDFs if you want to see different versions of how that's been handled. Um, and so this is the cover spread that kind of sets the tone, and then the story starts. Like I said, in this approach, she does have this very minimal, um, elegant design that brings the character forth. And Al is this young kid, and he's like an everyday schoolboy kid who's kind of shy and raised by his parents, and his dad would try to do his best to like teach him to be strong and brave, and of course he tries his best to be strong and brave as well. And he was on his way to school one day, and he sees a puddle, and like all boys, well, I can totally jump over that puddle. So he tries to jump over the puddle, he slips, and then somehow, without a lot of explanation, he just magically goes into this other dimension. He falls into the puddle and is in this like garden of precious stones, or a cave, and it's illuminated. And here you see, just with this, like we talked about in class, like using cropping or using scale. His face, his scarf is barely there. His eyes are telling the story, filling the room with these crystal gems everywhere and precious stones in this beautiful garden, in this cave that he slipped into. And in this beautiful cave, of course, is the magic lamp that he comes across. And he picks it up and does the rubbing thing, and he hears a voice, and it's a voice inside of him. So it's not a genie doesn't appear, it doesn't get all like weird. It's just like him connecting with his inner world and him beginning to live his spiritual life is maybe a way to put it, without any specific ideology. Just like you have a spiritual life, you have an inner life, and to connect with the higher power that guides you, or to connect with yourself, whichever you prefer to believe in. Um, he connects with that power, and he becomes aware. Well, what the heck? He becomes, sorry, he becomes aware that he is. Okay, here we go. Uh, he becomes aware that he's connected to something bigger than himself. And so he comes out of no explanation. He just comes out of there. He is running out of the puddle now. He goes off and hurries home and hurries to school. Doesn't want to be late. At school, it's just an ordinary day. He's got his new magic lamp, and he's got his like sort of this quote unquote genie who's his inner voice. And during school, and I love this, like behind the library stacks, he sees encounter where some classmates are bullying another kid, and I love how she just keeps the other characters just these kind of blue generic people, because they're not, what do you guys say, NPCs? Not, they're not real. They're not non-player characters. That's what they are. Yeah. Um, and so he wants to go confront them. He's imagining that, but he's not feeling so strong. But then he remembers that his inner voice can guide him, and he confronts them. And as he continues to get stronger and stronger, the lamp begins to get smaller and smaller because he's kind of taking over. Um, and then there's going to be this gym class volleyball game, and he wants to excel and he wants to be the champion, but he's apprehensive. But then he goes for it, and these are very simple illustrations. They're not too complicated. He uses both the scarf and the geniness or the inner voiceness as a similar kind of graphic element, and uses it to connect it to him, which is very smart. And here it's coming out of his pocket and around him and all the way, and it frames what he's thinking about or what's going to happen. And then it continues interacting with the NPC blue people, all with very simple type and easy to read out loud text. And he reaches into his pocket, and his magic lamp is getting smaller, and he's getting bigger. I mean, he's not literally getting bigger, but his confidence is growing, and he becomes better and stronger, and just decides, okay, I don't need my scarf anymore. I can move on. I've got something that I can count on and rely on to help me be there. Besides, of course, my parents, but his own spiritual life gets deeper. And he proudly says he put his scarf away, and he goes out and faces the world. And then there's the end page. So I think the end page is also good. Like, I may need you guys to make those anyway, because I might end up with an extra white spread. And so have the end page up your sleeve when you're done with all your other pages. Here's the back spread with um, more books by Dirt, and then the back. Okay, so that was our little case study for this version, and then jump back on our presentation here. So again, we're going to meet in class. I mean, no, we're not going to meet in class. We're going to meet in my office, 20 J Street in Dumbo, Brooklyn at Toda. And we're going to go through both a review of your work as well as a photo shoot. So come dressed in a cool, neutral way, looking your best. And remember to spend your spring break as productively as possible or as unproductively as possible, doing nothing, just relaxing, sleeping in, catching up on your sleep, having some adventures. Don't overdo it. Mark, Alex, I'm talking to you guys. Daniel, I know you're a partier. Don't go out there and overdo it. But make sure that you have a great time, but also get your work done too. All right. So I trust you guys will do that. And I'm not on vacation. So if you need feedback from me, reach out. I'll be happy to check in with you and give feedback along the way, because there's 2 weeks here that you can get a lot done. So use that time as best as possible. Please don't come back saying I barely got anything done. I will not like that. I'll pretend like I don't mind, but please get some stuff done. You got to get a week's worth of work done, because there is a week in there that's not spring break. All right, guys, we will see you in 2 weeks. Take care.